in Jewish law, someone can't testify against themselves. They're not trusted. And he explained in there, and based on some Rebbe letters, as I recall, that the reason is that we're not actually honest about ourselves. Not in the positive always, sometimes in the negative, that we're too hard on ourselves. We can incriminate ourselves when we don't deserve the incrimination. And Jewish law recognizes that as a reality. Wow. And therefore we don't trust ourselves to say, okay, we did X or we did Y, we did this sin or that sin, and therefore are deserving of a certain punishment. It has to come from two other witnesses in order to establish that guilt.
Wow. It brings to mind a beautiful teaching I once heard around why do we also burn the candle that we use to search for chametz on the eve of Pesach with everything else. Like, it's kind of like, why burn that and include that?
Right.
And one of the Hasidic explanations is that the candle represents inspecting and looking for negativity and a very critical sort of lens. And there's a place for that. But there's also a place where that needs to really be recognized within a much more important and greater self-value. And it's just a nice teaching.
Right, the critical eye, so to speak.
Yeah.
I saw it recently. There's this organization that posts videos of the Rebbe, and there was someone coming by, I think, who mentioned problems with his eyes, and the Rebbe, or it was talking about himself or someone else who was having eye problems, and the Rebbe connected it to having a positive view of others, like having a good eye in tova, like seeing the good in others, and sometimes being too judgmental is not a positive. Not sometimes, more than sometimes. I thought a lot about that over Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur because it was a very Rosh Hashanah, because it was very inspiring. The Rosh Hashanah and Shabbos, the davening, and what we had there, and it was very much a patched together minyan. We had 12 guys, and at different times, different times you had 9 and then 10, and so everyone needed to be there, but at the same point in time, not everyone completely felt the mold, matched the mold. Not everyone there completely matched the mold of what one would expect from a typical minyan. And I think as a result of that, it actually worked out where there wasn't any room to judge because everyone was essential to the minyan. So that was out, and I think everyone felt quite comfortable being there. They understood that, okay, if you want me to be here for 6 hours, there's an element of it that I'm going to stay in my uniqueness. And I know you don't want me to leave because I'm...
You can't do this without me.
Leader for the minyan. And I think it was beautiful, and I saw how healing it was for some of the guys who were in there, including myself, to the room to be ourselves in the space and to see how it actually created a higher
communal
state.
connection.
Yes, higher state, a higher connection, and a more intense prayer, I believe. It was very moving.
It was one of the highlight prayer services of my life. Yeah, just a really special, something really magical and nourishing when people can hold space for each other, when people can have that openness to really allow each person's soul and unique soul to shine in its own unique way, and to appreciate that and hold that together. There's a beauty. That's the divine space.
Right.
That is the divine space is a space of unity and shalom in the sense of fullness. Shalem is what the word means. Yes. It's like the infinite one, the Ein Sof, is big enough where there can be so many different expressions and they can all be true and right. And that's really, and it did feel like really at various moments in particular that there was a divine presence resting. People articulated that. People mentioned that it was as if the Shekhinah was with us. And I think that's just such an important blueprint for our time in Jewish history and where we are. There are so many Jews in my work and in just paying attention to where people are at and where the future of our Jewish consciousness needs to be and leadership. And this is a time where we have to realize the most important principles, and that is unity and inclusivity and diversity and heart, more than mind and head. And this is what's going to really bring, in my minds and hearts the gula, the redemption. This is what is needed, and it was such a miniature. It was a microcosm, as small as it was, this minyan, but in the quality and in the beauty of what unfolded and just manifested from the just pure shared intention and connection and presence of everyone was something really not only healing, but for me, it was something of a messianic quality. It was something that reflects where actually we should all be going in some way as a Jewish world.
Yeah, it felt like a true diversity. I saw recently that, one of the reasons Tiferes is beauty is because it's combining two opposites, right? There's one color can't be beautiful.
Right.
As wonderful as the color is,
Right.
if it's just one color,
Right.
it can't earn the name beauty.
Right.
Or the description beauty. Whereas when you have two, chesed and gevurah, now you have something that has the potential to create Tiferes,
Right.
to create a beauty, because there's a combination of colors. Same with music, right?
Absolutely.
One note doesn't create a beautiful song. You need a few played together.